Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and my garden. Today we're going to be doing a tour of the roses in my garden and you'll be able to see what's in bloom. I'll be following this up in a week or so with a tour of the entire garden for the month of May. So stay tuned for that, but today we're going to be focusing primarily on the roses. I'll also be doing a tour of my irises, but some of them have not bloomed yet and I didn't want to complete a video without having all the blooms. I didn't want to do a video on irises without showcasing all the irises in my garden. So that's coming up. Without further ado, let's take our tour. All right, y'all, we are at the back flower border. There is a lot of noise, and I'm sorry for that. That's our AC unit. It's 86 degrees here today in Georgia, and so I can't get away from it. We have two units in there to the back of the house. So back here, I have alternating, they call these red drift roses, and the pink and the sweet drift rose. And the reason I did that is to give this garden some continuity. I also have other roses planted back here as well. But these drift roses, once they start blooming, they don't end. There is a Pascali rose here. You can't see it because of all the foliage to the back, but it'll bloom soon. This is what that pink looks like. They almost seem like they glow. This is a kaleidoscope from the Kaleidoscope series by Cordes Rose, and it's a fire opal. Let me get you closer so you could see the blooms. They start out this color, and then they go to that color, and in between. Isn't that pretty? Here's one rose that's so odd in my garden. I bought a pink rose, and then one year I noticed it had white. So it blooms pink and white on the same plant. These are the first daylilies in the garden to bloom. I love daylilies. I know that they're considered an old lady flower. I guess I'm an old lady at heart. Here's some more of that sweet drift. And then this same fire opal from the Kaleidoscope series rose. There's some Queen Anne's lace. And there are plenty of things in here that has not begun to bloom yet. This is a pink knockout rose. Isn't it pretty? It's I think a double knockout. I love the cup shape. Let me show you this daylily. This bloom is so big and the color is so pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? So, so pretty. I bought all my daylilies from a lady at first, and then she passed away, and I would buy them from her son, who inherited his mother's property and business. Well, it turns out that the mom used to work with a guy who bred daylilies, and instead of a salary, she asked for plants. And so she has one of some of the most unique collection I've ever seen. Because she passed away and didn't have everything fully labeled, her son has no clue. So I've just taken to buying what I love. More of those pink drift. And this is the one, the variety sweet. Let's see, a bloom that's closer to being new. And here's the red. And one more of this Kaleidoscope fire opal. Crazy Love is probably my favorite rose in my garden. It keeps healthy, and it has the prettiest bloom. All the orange colors imaginable. Just so, so pretty. And let me show you one where the bloom is open and you'll see. This is a Julia Child rose. I have 3 of these in the garden. Different flower beds. Here is one of those crazy loves. It's almost done, so you can see how it ends its lifespan. This is Florentina. Isn't she gorgeous? I have a thing for peony-shaped rose blooms. This is the first year I've gotten so many blooms on her. It's also the first year I've gotten her trellised properly too. This is the chicken wire support I was talking about. I mean, look at it. It's stunning. I moved this rose this year and it's not happy with me for being moved. But I see a lot of new growth. Here's the new growth and it's very healthy. I think it's going to shed all those leaves and come back out with new ones that is healthier. Another one of my favorite rose is Zade. It's another Cordes rose. And it's loaded with buds. This is a white drift rose. This is Carding Mill. It is a favorite of most rose growers because she is just that stunning. I mean, just beautiful peony-esque bloom. Almost look like a coral charm peony, and she puts out several buds at the same time. This is a David Austin rose, and the fragrance is wonderful. This rose is Peggy Martin. She was a gift from my friend Teresa, and she's already putting on buds. Now, if you don't know the story of Peggy Martin, it's called the Katrina rose. It is the rose that survived Hurricane Katrina. Now, this is Hermine. Here, let me get you a fresh bloom. Have other footage I'll insert. She's bloomed out and has new buds coming. But my middle name is Hermine, or Hermione. And when I saw this rose, I had to have it in my collection. This is an Emily Bronte rose, another David Austin rose. Very light pink. I have a bad habit of deadheading as I pass, but isn't that gorgeous? She's also put on quite a bit of show from before and is getting ready to do another flush. She blooms most of the season, and I like that. This is another David Austin rose. This is Golden Celebration. Absolutely beautiful. It's got quite a few buds. It's late to the party because most of my other roses have been blooming for a while, and that's the first bloom there. Over here we have Double Delight, and I'll insert some footage that I took the other day. This is an heirloom yellow rose that I have. I bought this when I first moved to Georgia. I have no idea what the name is, but it is quite prolific. You can see all the blooms that it has. And this was pruned all the way back this season. Let me show you all the way down here. So all this growth is just this season. I have two of them planted next to each other in front of the house. And they don't ever let me down. Once this flush is done, I'll cut it back again and it'll just keep blooming all season long. This is Queen Elizabeth, and I love it. It's got a couple more buds coming. I thought for sure it had died because the armadillo kept digging it up last year. I have another one on the other side over here that is just beginning to unfurl. This is a petite knockout rose. I have 4 of those in the garden. I actually like those too for nonstop color. This is an iceberg climbing rose. The clematis wrapping around it. This is a coral knockout rose next to a gentle gardener, and there's another one there. And both of those have bloomed already. I'll insert a picture of what they look like. This is State of Grace. Isn't she beautiful? This is a Fun in the Sun rose that has not bloomed out yet. It's got a couple buds on it. It, I thought, had died. I lost 10 roses in the polar vortex this year, and I thought that was one of them. But fortunately, it wasn't. This is called a popcorn rose. They're so tiny. The blooms are, my husband bought me that one. This is another double knockout rose. I just put this pot here, haven't planted it up yet. That's a peach knockout rose. So pretty, the variations in peach color. This one is a Pascali rose, which is a combination of 2 roses, one of them being Queen Elizabeth, and I think the other one is White Butterfly. Isn't that pretty? It's got a couple more buds also. This is another one that I thought had died. And then here is the peach drift rose up close. More of the peach drift rose. It's so stunning. Of the drift series, the peach is my absolute favorite. This next rose is Sweet Mademoiselle, and she is indeed sweet. Isn't she stunning? One bloom can get as wide as my hand. Yeah, very stunning. This is another Cordes rose. Star roses in plant, rather, sorry. From their bloomable series. I have 2 of these roses. This is an Earth Angel rose. And I'll put a picture of what an open one looks like. Several more buds coming. Next rose is what I call my mistake rose. I bought 2 of these roses from Lowe's, and it was supposed to be something called curly pink, which is similar to the color here, but guess what? It's not. They're peach, and I don't really mind the color because this rose over here is also peach. That's a nitty gritty peach. This is from Monrovia. And this one is cream veranda. That's a Cortez rose. Moonlight Romantica is another Cortez rose, and I'll insert pictures of it. Princess Charlene de Monaco. And then right here is Sweet Rose of Mine. I'll show you what that one looks like. I bought 2 of these, and both of these are the same thing. They are neither pink. This is an Earth Angel, one that I bought this year. They were from Home Depot. Home Depot had them 2 for, I think, $26. So I bought those to see. And if they're true, then I'll buy more. See? Same rose. I have no idea what it is. If someone knows what it is, please leave a comment below. I've added several new roses this year. One is a Eden climbing rose on this obelisk. I also have a Zephyrin Druin rose on this obelisk here. I have 2 new Zephyrin Druin to the back on the arbor there. And I'm not sure if I showed you Bathsheba over here. But let's do the Sweet Rose of Mine first, and then we'll look at I need to show you a picture. This is a Bathsheba climbing rose. She's just been blooming her head off, and she has buds all the way up at the tippy top and down. So I'm very excited with this rose. Last year I bought it mid-season, or I planted it mid-season. I moved it in the fall, and she's thanking me for moving her because she didn't like where she was at first. This is a climber by the name of 4th of July. You can see that it looks like fireworks in the bloom. Another rose that I absolutely adore. This is another gift from my husband. This is Charles de Mille. Charles de Mille. Isn't it beautiful? Has a pretty yellow center. Hasn't opened all the way yet. Let me find one that has. This one hasn't opened either, but you could see the little yellow center there. I moved this one this year as well. So are just floribunda roses. And then I have some icebergs there. But a lot of these are done blooming. Oh, another one that I added this year is an Olivia Rose Austin right here. And no blooms on her yet. She does have buds, so she's looking good. Here's another petite knockout rose. There's an at last rose here, but it's already bloomed. I'll show a picture of what that is. And this is the first year that it's really doing well for me. I've gotten several blooms off of it. This rose is planted in front of my husband's ramp next to our bedroom, just right there. And this one is called La Park. I believe I bought this from Jackson and Perkins a couple of years ago. It did not like where I first had it. I have moved it, and it's actually putting out this year. Last year I think I got one bloom. Seems like there are three. Last year I only got one bloom. This year there are three, and it's putting out new growth. So that's telling me this rose is very happy. In my rose garden, you'll find that I have a lot of knockout rose as well as drift roses. And I do that on purpose because when my other roses are taking a pause, like some of them currently are, they've bloomed already, you have these that still produce color. So this is a coral drift in front of a coral knockout, and then there's a pink knockout and another pink knockout there. But I also have three peach colored roses in here that have already bloomed. One is a double easy, one is a shepherdess, and the other, I can't remember the name at the moment. This is an heirloom climbing rose that I dug up on the side of the road. It's very well contained, and I keep it on this arbor. Last year, I literally had one long cane. This year, it's beginning to send out side shoots, which I'm grateful for because I've had much more blooms as a result of it. One of the things that I like to do is to trellis the roses on an arbor, yes, but also add supportive materials on the side in the form of a chicken wire to be able to tie even more to. As you can see by the top, because it doesn't have that supportive chicken wire, it doesn't stay where I would like it to be. This is a Westerland climbing rose, and it's up on my office. And the first part fell down. I've got to retrellis it, but yeah, it's got this beautiful big fluffy bloom. Here's my hand. Let me show you how big the blooms are. You'll notice a lot of my roses in my garden are either peach, orange, or a variation thereof, because that's my favorite color. And it makes sense that when you're planting your garden to plant the things that bring you the greatest joy. Lump of heirloom rose. I mean, y'all, look at these. This rose I actually foraged on the side of the road. Thank you for joining me today as we took a tour of the roses in bloom in my garden. As always, if you've enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing. Until next time, happy gardening.